How's it going, YouTube? Welcome back to your favorite aviation channel, and today we're doing the December 2023 update for Chicago O'Hare International Airport Terminal 5. This is of course the last one for the year, and it also marks 1 year since I started doing these updates every month, so thank you all for your continued love and support for these videos. As you're going to see shortly, I've got some exciting developments to share with you regarding this Terminal 5 replica, so let's get right into it. So as promised from the last update, I've finally begun replacing the old mat with these new slate gray foam boards. I bought 5 initially just to get an idea, so the entire diorama hasn't been fully covered yet. After setting the new boards up, I concluded that I still need about 5 more, so those should hopefully be installed and ready to go by the next update. Now, the temporary transition between the old cardboard and the foam board, it's pretty noticeable right here since the foam is a bit thicker, but needless to say, you hopefully won't see this in the future. Something else I should address is that no, the boards will not stay solid gray forever. Over the coming months, I plan to add all of the grass medians, taxiway lines, and other apron markings to make everything a whole lot more realistic. I'll also finally glue all the foils down. Again, I didn't do it just yet because I was still getting a feel for these new boards and stuff, but that's it. That's all I have for the setup tour, so let's get into the aircraft. Starting off with some runway 22 left departures, right here is the Spirit A320neo with the solid black titles heading off to Miami as flight 3151. Next we got an American Eagle Embraer 145 operated by Piedmont Airlines heading off to Flint, Michigan as flight 5997. Over here is the American Eagle Embraer 170 in the retro livery heading off to White Plains, Westchester County, New York as flight 3808. Next, we have an American Eagle Embraer 175 operated by Envoy heading off to Indianapolis as flight 3366. And behind that is the United Express Embraer 175 heading off to Huntsville, Alabama as flight 4798. Moving on to some runway 28 right departures, right here is the United 787-9 heading off to Tokyo Haneda as flight 881. The 787-9 is actually pretty rare nowadays at O'Hare. It's mainly all 787-10s and a handful of 787-8s. So the Haneda route is actually currently operated by the 787-10. But I don't have enough 10s to cover all the international routes, so I just put in my 787-9 for this Tokyo flight. Behind that, we've got the United Airbus A319 heading off to New York LaGuardia as flight 1968. And behind that is the 737 MAX going off to Denver as flight 2138. And then next up is the Delta Airbus A220-100 going off to Boston as flight 1429. And last in the lineup is the United Airlines Boeing 777-200 going off to Los Angeles as flight 2263. Starting off at the terminal at gate M3, we've got this Delta Connection Embraer 175. That's just coming from JFK as flight 3718 and is about to begin offloading passengers. Next up, we have the Delta 717-200 pushing back for Minneapolis as flight 1501, running about an hour behind schedule, came in from Minneapolis with that same flight number. Next up, we have another Delta A220-100. I actually put this one in by mistake. It's supposed to be doing the Seattle flight 1189. I think I meant to put the 737 in or A321, but I forgot. But anyway, came in from Seattle. And next to that is the Delta 757-200 pulling into gate M8 from Atlanta, and in about an hour's time it's going to do the same flight number back to Atlanta. Recently we've been getting a couple of 737-900 ERs and 800s and also A321s from Atlanta. I did double check, and thankfully Delta will continue sending us multiple 757s a day from Atlanta through the rest of 2024. I was a bit scared at first. I thought they were replacing it with A321s and 737s, but that's just a temporary thing. All throughout 2024 through April, I checked, it's going to be mostly, again, all 757s, at least 7 757s a day on the Atlanta flight, which is fantastic. At gate M10, we've got the Delta Connection CRJ900 just pulled into the gate from Detroit as flight 3636. And next door at gate M11, we have the Airbus A220-300 that's doing flight 1043 to and from Salt Lake City. At gate M15, we've got the United Boeing 787-8 just pulled in from Amsterdam as flight 908. And at M16 pulling in, we have the 767-300ER coming in from Paris Charles de Gaulle as flight 986. At gate M17, we have the Volaris Airbus A320neo making service out to Leon as flight 290 and came in from Morelia as flight 297. And at M18, we have the British Airways 777-200ER just came in from London Heathrow as flight 295. Of course, this replaced the Airbus A380. So right now we're getting twice a day 777-200s from British Airways. However, flight 297, 296, the evening service, that will change to a 787 starting in 2024. So literally as soon as the new year starts, the 787 will take over the evening flight. At M19, we've got the United 787-10 just arrived from Munich, Germany as flight 952. And just next door at gate M20, we have the other 787-10 that arrived a bit earlier from Brussels as flight 973. It's now getting repositioned over to Terminal 1 for its next flight. At M21, we've got the Aer Lingus Airbus A330-300 just pulled in from Dublin as flight 123. And at M24, we've got the American 787-9 just came in from London Heathrow as flight 87. Next at M25, we have Lufthansa 430 Heavy that's just arrived from Frankfurt. And yes, that's right, 430 is now an Airbus A340-600, replacing the 747-8. But not to worry, because the 747-8 still does fly daily between Frankfurt and Chicago, just on the evening service, flight 432. So at the moment, Lufthansa is flying the A340-600 and 747-8 daily from Frankfurt, and the A350-900 daily from Munich once a day. Moving on to M26, we've got the Copa Airlines Boeing 737-800 getting serviced for its return flight to Panama City as flight 229. And next at M27, we have the newest airline at O'Hare, Avianca, Costa Rica, who began service earlier this month from San Jose, Costa Rica and Guatemala City. The service operates 4 times a week, and it goes from San Jose to Guatemala City to Chicago, and then the opposite routing on the way back. The Guatemala City-Chicago route is actually now served by 3 carriers, United, now Avianca, and also Volaris El Salvador. They do something similar to Avianca, but they fly from San Salvador to Guatemala City to Chicago, but that flight arrives around 11 p.m. pretty late in the night. And speaking of San Salvador, when Avianca last served Chicago until 2019, they actually flew from San Salvador, and that's actually why I bought this particular model. As you can see, it's the TACA Heritage livery. TACA was the flag carrier of El Salvador before they were taken over by Avianca, and so the Avianca route from San Salvador back then was operated by TACA. So that nostalgic throwback is why I got this particular model. I do also have the regular livery coming in soon. You'll see that hopefully in a future video. Alright, at M29, we've got something pretty random here. It's the Hawaiian Airlines Airbus A330-200 about to commence pushback for its onward journey to New York JFK as Flight 50. So yes, back on November 29th, Hawaiian Airlines Flight 50 from Honolulu to JFK actually diverted to Chicago early in the morning, and so they actually parked it up right at this exact gate at Terminal 5. So of course this finally gave me an excuse to showcase this model and to put Hawaiian Airlines in a Chicago O'Hare airport update. Of course, Hawaiian doesn't fly to O'Hare at the moment. Would love to see them at O'Hare in Chicago at some point. Of course, they are my original hometown airline. I'm from Honolulu originally, so I would love to see Hawaiian come here, compete with United. It'd be really, really cool to see them. But yeah, it was really, really random. They arrived at like 5 or 6 in the morning, and then I believe it was a medical emergency. So once that was taken care of, they continued on to JFK around 7:30 a.m. Moving on to gate M30, we've got the United Boeing 767-300ER. This just came in from Zurich, Switzerland as flight number 12, just getting offloaded right here as you can see. Next at gate M34, we've got the ANA Boeing 777-300ER that's just come in from Tokyo Narita as flight 12. Once it gets offloaded, of course, this aircraft will reposition to Terminal 1, where it will board for its return flight to Japan, but this time it will go to Tokyo Haneda, the other Tokyo airport, as flight number 111, and that's about 5 p.m. departure. Here we have not one, but 2 Aeromexico 737s at M35 and M36, and this is actually something you will see in real life. Right here is flight 653 pushing back for Guadalajara, 737-800. That's a 1 p.m. departure. And then next to it is the 737 MAX 8 operating flight 686 from Mexico City, and that flight arrives at 1 p.m. So right now they're actually flying the MAX 9 on this route from Mexico City, which is pretty cool. So I don't know, you might actually see that in a future update. Not too sure, but be cool to add that at some point. Next at gate M39, making its debut on the channel, we have the Southwest 737 MAX 8 in the Canyon Blue retro livery. This aircraft just came in from Dallas Love Field as flight 360, making service out to Phoenix as flight 749. And last but not least, at gate M40, pretty cool shot here with the Canyon Blue Retro in the background. We have a standard Canyon Blue 737-700, came in from Denver as Flight 1124, continuing onwards to Nashville as Flight 538. At the moment, I believe all of the split Scimitar 737-700s like this one, they've all been repainted. So there's like 6 of these left in the Canyon Blue livery, and they're all the regular 737-700s without splits. So it might actually be less than 6 now, but yeah, only a handful of these left in the OG Canyon Blue. Alright, so that concludes the December 2023 T5 update. I really hope you all enjoyed it. Again, some things to look forward to in the next update for January 2024 are a completely new look setup here, and also another new airline that I've been wanting to add for a long time. Also, some announcements. My second channel, AS Jets, is back in action. I've got lots of model content, in-flight videos, and lots more on the way, so go subscribe if you haven't already. And also, as you may know, my channel is not at all monetized, but at the same time, I've always wanted to do something cool for my subscribers, viewers. So I recently launched a new Patreon page. If you want to pitch in a certain amount monthly to support the channel, there are 3 different tiers that each come with some really cool perks. Model raffles, memorabilia raffles, shoutouts, all that good stuff. Check it out in the link below. And then as far as future videos go, I'm going to try and do my yearly collection update sometime soon. It's going to be hard to get it up by the 31st, but rest assured I'm going to try doing it at some point, in addition to other videos that'll be coming as normal. But that's it for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Take care, stay safe, and see you all next time.